All right, so despite being connected to a monstrously gigantic battery, my Mevo ran out partway through the broadcast. So quick little flip, and here we are back with an alternative source off the iPhone Direct. Should be easier, please, hopefully. Let me just adjust the picture here. No, I don't want weird emojis. All good. Okay, so as I was saying, just to restart real quick, I am coming to you live from San Francisco. I'm out here for the RSA USA conference. We kicked off with a pre-day yesterday. Myself and Andrew Hay from Leo Security, we hosted a full-day seminar focused on ransomware and destructive attacks. We had a great lineup of speakers from the Associate District Attorney General all the way to a special guest appearance by Malware Tech Blog, who actually was the one who sunk hole the WannaCry domain and ran into some legal trouble for it. But it was a great day, lots of great talks. I'm going to wrap that up in a separate video that I'll post here on social. What I want to dive into this morning is actually what's happening with Telegram in Russia. So Telegram is a secure end-to-end encrypted messaging service. I'm not sure where it ranks with the current options for end-to-end encrypted services. The EFF is about to, if they haven't already, updated their scorecard for encrypted services, so you can get an idea of what the vulnerabilities and the challenges are within that organization or within that choice, within that ecosystem. But at the end of the day, Telegram has gotten in trouble with the Russian government, and the Russian government has banned that service within that country. Now, that's a whole different discussion as far as whether that's, the ups and downs of banning specific services in countries and things like that. That's not what I'm going to dive into today. What I wanted to talk about real quick was actually one of the methods when this escalated. So we had the Russian government saying Telegram should not be available to our users within the country. Telegram we had the Russian government asking for access to conversations happening on Telegram. Telegram said no. Russian government said, okay, you're not going to be available to provide service to our citizens. And then they banned the service as it was configured. Telegram made some adjustments to the technical delivery of their service. And what they did was they started to route conversations through AWS and through the Google Cloud platform, right? So they went to a cloud provider and they set up a bunch of systems and they started routing traffic through there. Interestingly enough, the Russian government has taken the step to then ban millions of IP addresses associated to AWS and associated with GCP. Now, AWS has a GitHub repo and an API call where you can actually get the latest set of IP addresses they're using for all their services. Same with Google, and obviously you can't have a cloud service without having a number of things on those IPs. So it's dynamic IP assignment. Those IPs are recycled quite quickly. And why I wanted to talk about this wasn't so much the nation state angle, wasn't the banning of encrypted services angle, but it was the defensive mechanism of actually trying to ban a service based on the IP it's coming in. In this day and age, that is a very crude tool to use, but unfortunately, it's the only one that a lot of folks have available to them. What ends up happening now is, as we're seeing from the fallout reported in the tech news right now, is a whole bunch of collateral damage has happened in the Russian ban. So we're seeing the fact that there is other services that were running in AWS and in GCP that are no longer available in the country because they've been banned by being a part of these IP blocks. And that's really where this sort of the crude analogy comes in. It's not a scalpel, it's very much a blunt, sledgehammer instead. In this day and age, we need to move our security up the stack. So you need to be doing, if you're trying to prevent your organization from reaching this particular service, or you're trying to defend yourself against a DDoS attack, or you're no matter what you're trying to defend yourself against, if it includes banning access from external entities into your network, IP address is probably not going to cut it anymore. We know that some IP addresses have tend towards a more negative association. However, they do get reused and they do get recycled. So if you ban an IP address, you're potentially cutting off your users from a chunk of the net that is not the intended consequence. You need to move up the stack to a domain name. So the domain name is what we're used to typing into our browsers, something like github.com, as opposed to 1.2.3.4. Because 1.2.3.4 points to GitHub hub today, just an example, it's not actually the IP address, it could point to mybadservice.com tomorrow and then back to somebody else's goodservice.com the day after that. It's no longer accurate enough. We need to move up the stack, and that's sort of a continuing theme in security. I'm sure I'll be talking about it the rest of the week, is that we need to be more accurate, we need to be more data-driven, and we need to be more flexible. We can't just do these crude things of just cutting off, essentially cutting off a limb. Going to be interesting to see how this falls out, especially given that cutting off legitimate services could frustrate a lot of users and have that pushback against that ban in Russia. But in general, you need to make sure that you can't just block by IP, but that you can move up the stack and be more accurate and be blocking by domain, or better yet, by sessions. Harder to do, but not impossible to do. We've had the technology for years. It's just a question of deploying it and making it effective. You can always hit me up online, Mark NCA. Of course, I don't have the graphic overlay, even though I'm trying to point to it. Talk to me in the comments below. I'm going to be at RSA all week. I think it's going to be a really interesting conference. It really starts off today with some of the keynotes and the sessions and the expo halls open and all that. I will have a summary video up soon about the ransomware summit yesterday, because it was fantastic, and there's some slide decks available for those of you that didn't attend. Hope you're having a great day. I believe it's Tuesday. Always get thrown off when I'm in different time zones. I hope to talk to you soon, and we'll see you tomorrow.